eatreview.com.
Every time the beat drop.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. It's Save and Continue. We are coming to you live. It is 7:20 p.m. and we are in radio studios in lovely New York. I am joined by Frankie and Nolan. My name is Kyle. We are back here to talk about games and all that fun stuff. A lot has happened this week. We were here last week and we talked about a bunch of stuff, and E3 is coming up.
Yup.
E3 is coming up.
Yup. In anticipation of E3, tons of stuff has been coming out.
Tons of stuff.
Tons.
How much? How many?
Tons.
Tons of
With
stuff.
an E.
With an E. But yeah, that is, when is E3 exactly again? It's June, 15th or 16th to the 17th?
Something like that. I forget.
But yeah, we're going to talk a lot about that. Obviously, I think the big thing is Fallout 4. I mean, that's what I'm super excited for, but there's a dozen other cool stuff happening. But we got lots to talk about. We have our video of the week, which is some cool GTA stuff. We've got some information about Battlefront that I'm sure you two don't care about. And it's a bunch of other cool stuff and a bunch of more E3 predictions. We have a list of a bunch of the games that will be present at E3, or expected to be at least. So we're going to go over those as well and talk about everything that we're kind of wish listing and predicting and looking forward to. We'll start everything like we usually do. Are you playing anything new? Because I am. I make sure that I'm playing something new before I ask this, because I know a lot of the times.
No, I've been busy lately.
No,
So there's nothing
anything?
new.
You still on your Madden grind, or you're playing
Grinding.
FIFA again more?
I've dipped into
Listen,
FIFA a little bit.
FIFA's
Those
still
sports
good.
games, man, they never get
Those
old.
sports games. Well, that's what Ryan does a lot of the time. Ryan that does a Super Ryan Game Time on Tuesdays on this channel. He does a lot of sports games. I think we're going to focus more on sports games because he gets a lot more into it, I think. Like, he does a lot of NHL where he plays a lot of the viewers, actually. I got to watch a little bit of the last stream, and he actually got to, some guy hops on and he's just like, giveaways? Like, you going to give me some players and
Yeah,
stuff?
for the Madden.
And
for
the
the-
last time Ryan did this, he gave away like everybody because he felt like he was just so generous about it. He's like, how about now you actually have to win a game against me in order to get the player?
Ooh.
So now people were chiming in. They were just
Playing
like,
for
all
the
right,
pink
here's my
slips.
yada yada name. Yeah, exactly, pretty much. And they were like, I saw them versing each other, and then they'd be like good games, and he would send them based on if they won or not. And it was a really cool way of doing it. I was really excited to see that.
I think that's usually how it works for like the FIFA Ultimate Teams and stuff like that.
What do you mean?
Like you buy card packs.
Oh, is that because I remember FIFA did that as well? You could buy like your pro teams or ultimates or something like that.
Yeah, but I think you like then take them online for an entire season against other people that have card built teams too.
Oh, all right. So it's not just like you choose a pre-existing team. It's
No,
like
you
ultimate
gotta-
team mode or something.
Yeah, you got to grind and luck out to kind of get some
Really?
certain players. So that's probably why they're all like, "Oh, you're giving them away!" Like everyone's just gonna jump there.
Well, that's the thing. He never said he was giving them away. People just assume. Like, they just hop on and their first question was question mark giveaway. Like, just expecting it. But I thought
Well, I
that
want you to keep watching, so.
That's what it was. And people were asking, they're like, I will follow you if you give me a player. And Ryan's just like, all right, I guess we're doing that now. I think I borrowed it from you, but I've picked up a PS3 that I've been playing around with, and Dead Space. I finally got around to playing some Dead Space.
Dead Space 2?
Dead Space 2, which I know you were a big fan of.
Well, that was actually, it's not even my copy, so.
Oh, it's not your copy? Okay,
no,
good. I'm gonna keep it for a
no,
while.
it's not my copy, but it's in your hands now.
Oh wait, isn't that James's copy or something?
No, it's
Or-
Callie's,
Oh,
actually.
it's Callie's.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
But, yeah,
Well,
did
don't
you
say
play,
that too
did you,
loud, he's around.
Yeah, right. He's back in town.
did you play the first Dead Space?
No, I never did. I never got to play. This is my first Dead Space experience, and I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Dead Space 2 is a sight to behold.
It really is. It's because a lot of people talk about like, oh, like survival horror is dead and stuff, and what do you mean? Like, that game was fantastic. It's an older title, I get it, but like still amazing. Like, that is great survival horror.
It's not too old. I mean, the game, it's definitely more refined than the original Dead Space. To be honest, I really wasn't too big of a fan of the original Dead Space. I thought it was,
Really?
yeah, I admired the direction it was going in, and I liked the controls. I thought it was definitely a step up from Resident Evil. They happened to make the controls mobile, yet still feeling like you're kind of clunky in a way.
As long as it's
You
not
know what I mean?
tank mechanics. You know, I have a gripe against tank
Yeah,
mechanics.
I have no problem with tank controls, but they
stand
really
that.
they did well with supplementing the tank controls. But yeah, 2 just, oh my God, in every aspect, they just took it to a whole nother level.
Goat Milk Awareness, thank you for chiming in, my friend. Yes, Dead Space is amazing. He agrees. It's a great game. Is that your favorite? I just got the title. Who is this then? We know this person clearly. Someone made an account. This is why I started the show. It's for this. You laugh. This is exactly why I wanted to do this. It's for the inside jokes. You made me laugh twice. I don't even want to know who that is.
As you see, there's no milk on the table
He
right
has
now.
the cup.
Right now.
We have the cup.
I need my blatter, sir.
He finished it, which is why I moved it. Had it not been finished, there would be goat milk right here today. Goat milk awareness. You know, it'd be even better if that was just a happening, just a random coincidence.
Right.
That guy's just an honest fan of goat milk and just thinks people should know about
he's
goat
a
milk.
raw milk
Farm.
advocate.
He lives-
Absolutely. Yeah.
Anyway, Dead Space.
Hit that follow button, goat milk, for more goat milk related things. There's always goat milk on this show.
So, more sensual goat milk
We
sipping.
definitely have the highest percentage of
We
goat
do.
milk on Twitch.
We do, absolutely. That's a fact. We have the highest amount of shots
Yeah.
of goat milk.
So
Monopoly
anyway,
on
yeah,
Twitch.
Dead Space. I'm happy you're enjoying it. What are you enjoying about it? What?
He says again, it's probably behind your chair with your bamboo straw.
All right, we know this
There
guy,
is
obviously.
also a bamboo straw in there. I don't care. Someone made the time to make an account on Twitch and talk about this. I love it. Unless it's Bonnie in the booth. Well, good, because I'll be angry if you do that, Bonnie. We don't need no pity. All right?
trash
We need
talking.
real.
Yeah,
Actually,
5 feet
What
away.
do you knock the chair over. We'll talk about video games in a second. First off,
entire
oh, yeah, it's an
gallon
entire
of
jug of
milk.
milk.
Yeah.
That's all goat milk?
Yeah.
That's a
God.
self-produced.
Yeah. It's for when I'm on the go. When I'm gaming on the go, I get goat milk.
So Dead Space is really good.
Yeah.
Dead Space 2 is great. Have you played Dead Space 3?
I played the demo.
Because I'm really interested in playing it now.
I played the
to what they were going to add on to Dead Space 2.
Without talking about it too much, because I know we have a lot to talk about today. Dead Space 3 went in a direction that a lot of fans were not really too happy about. It was kind of the same thing
Sorry, the baby
as
start
it was kind of the same thing as how Resident Evil 5 kind of irked the Resident Evil fans. Dead Space 3 kind of did the same thing for the traditional Dead Space 1 and 2
Really?
fans. Yes, they made it more action oriented. Not by really changing much of the gameplay itself. They just made the pacing and the structure of the levels more action oriented.
It kind of sounds like you're saying more like jump out and scare moments, kind of.
No, I mean
Like cheap scares?
no. The entire series had jump scares.
Because that's what I appreciate about Dead Space 2. I walked into the game thinking it was going to be a bunch of you're down a dark alley and then they jump out at you.
Well, there
and you
is.
freak out.
There is a lot of
but
that.
That's not where most of the horror comes from in the game, which is
Oh.
it's psychological to me at least. I think they built an atmosphere that I'm constantly uncomfortable with. Even when there's no monsters, I'm like, this is
I remember
uncomfortable.
when the first promos started coming out for Dead Space 2, and it was like it was like a broken up space cabin or something. And there was like a hand like floating around in
Yeah.
zero
Yes,
G,
that's,
and I was like, wow, like this is scary.
That's also the intro to Quake 4 too, I think, if I'm not mistaken. It's like you see a guy floating through space and then he goes past and he's like missing half his body and you're like, this game's gonna be bloody. Apparently Goat Milk, you're not missing much by not playing 3. I can't wait to finish 2. I'm very excited for it. Now I'm kind of a little bummed actually. I was looking forward to.
No,
Because I was like, I'm gonna go back and play Dead.
hold on.
I'm gonna go back and play Dead Space 1 now. Absolutely.
I haven't personally played Dead Space 3, so
Sure.
I can't say how it is as a game. And I gotta say, the demo, I enjoyed it. Actually, I played I think I played co-op with Blake online. So I did get a little taste of the full game now that I'm thinking about it. But it really, I'm getting the idea from what I've heard in the past that Dead Space 2 is just pretty much the magnum opus of the series.
Gotcha. Well,
You
I
know?
mean, as soon as you start screwing with game mechanics, you're gonna piss people off. Like that's just an inevitable kind of thing. Especially when it comes
They
to
just
the,
changed the tone. It wasn't so much the mechanics, it was the tone.
It sounds kind of like I hope you never played it, but Splinter Cell Conviction. You ever play that? It was
no.
just they took Splinter Cell and
No.
they took this stealth game and they were just like,
Why not Splinter Cell?
The title should have said Splinter Cell. Screw it. Because that is exactly what you got. It was just like there is nothing about this game that's related to Splinter Cell except for the fact that the main character is Sam Fisher.
Yeah, no.
And the title is Splinter Cell.
I know about
nothing
that.
else.
Yeah, Pandora Tomorrow and
Oh, how do you go from Chaos Theory
and
to Pandora
Chaos Theory.
Tomorrow? Perfect scores.
Well, it was different.
Or, sorry, Chaos Theory had perfect scores.
Chaos Theory was getting great
Pandora
scores.
Tomorrow is
yeah.
still a great game, but that got 10 out of 10. It's
Yeah,
like
well,
Half-Life 2
Pandora
quality.
Tomorrow was when I used to play the multiplayer a lot. But anyway,
that was,
Double
yeah.
Agent too.
Double
Splinter
Agent
Cell
was the
Double Agent
best.
was great.
Splinter Cell. It was apparently wasn't the
Multiplayer.
best, but
Look,
that was my multiplayer.
Okay,
I
let
guess.
me. I'm gonna use another analogy.
Sure.
Kind of. Chaos Theory's multiplayer and Double Agent's multiplayer were two different beasts.
Okay.
And it
So I
was
only played Double Agent.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it was kind of like how maybe some fans would compare Halo 2 to another Halo. You know, like a lot of stuff changed, and some people felt that some things were maybe quote unquote noobified, or I mean, like it was made easier. But with that said, I had a much more fun time playing Double Agent on multiplayer, and I loved it.
I'm glad to hear you say that.
Loved it.
I'm glad
loved
to hear
it.
you say that.
Yeah, but Chaos Theory was great.
Because that's what I'm saying.
Chaos
People-
Theory, I felt like took more. You had to be quicker on your controls, and you had to know what you're doing more so. It was a little bit harder to handle, I think, Chaos Theory, but not that it had bad controls. It was just a little bit more intricate.
Yeah.
Okay. yeah.
Double Agent was more straightforward as a Splinter Cell
You could have
multiplayer game.
started with Double Agent. You had to like warm into Chaos.
Or the other way around. Like I said, they kind of played like two different games. They had the same idea, but they moved differently.
They did seem massively different. Wasn't
Yeah.
Double Agent not a launch title for the 360, but didn't it come very soon after the launch of the 360?
I forget what year, but I'm
It
pretty
was definitely the first
yeah.
Splinter Cell game on the 360.
I'm pretty
without a
sure.
doubt.
Yeah, I think it was like 2006.
Well, I mean,
maybe.
it was that and Conviction, I think, and then
Conviction came down years. years down the pipe.
Still
Yeah.
upset by that. I'm not even kidding you.
But
Like, it
no.
really was.
It was a great series. Just it was too bad.
It was a great series.
Ubisoft really dropped the ball with all their series.
And that's saying something because
Yeah.
I'm terrible at stealth games. Just really, I for some reason, I'm just not good at it.
Yeah.
Like, just not good at playing them, and I still love the Splinter Cell. When they stripped
Yeah.
everything and made it an action game, which I was obviously better at, I was still disappointed. I was like, I miss the struggle. Like, I miss the stealthiness. Like, he's gonna see me. He's gonna see me.
'cause
He
then
walks
it-
past, and you're like, oh my god, I can't believe that didn't happen.
Then it just becomes any other action game.
That's what it is. I'm not
Shoot 'em
playing.
ups are like a dime a dozen.
Exactly, and it wasn't even a good shoot 'em up. It was like a very watered down action game with like some slight stealth elements in it that bummed me out hardcore. What were we talking about originally? We went on a giant tangent.
We were just talking about what games we've been playing.
Oh, the
so
Dead Space,
We,
that's right.
should, we should probably get into E3.
Sure, let's talk about E3. We got a list here of some games that are being launched. We talked about it last week. We'd made a few predictions and a few wish list add-ons.
Talked a lot of Fallout, man.
We did, but we surprisingly glossed over a bunch of stuff that I'm very much excited for.
Tons.
Mass Effect 4 being the first one. I don't think we mentioned that
Right.
at all last episode. I mean, they're apparently supposedly coming in very hard to this E3. I don't
do
know
you
what
mean?
that means.
What
It's
does
very,
that
they're very
mean?
being
Guns
loose
blazing.
about it, but apparently they're saying like Mass Effect 4 will be present, and we're going to show you some stuff.
Who said this?
Some
BioWare?
cool stuff. A representative or a spokesperson for
whatever.
BioWare or someone, a close source apparently.
So I keep forgetting that Mass Effect is a part of EA now as a series.
Yeah,
You
it's
know?
very, I'm interested to see
Yeah.
what happens with that because
Well, and I'm actually more interested to even know if it's called Mass Effect 4, because for all we know, it's not even a numbered title. We're just assuming it's the fourth
it
Mass
could
Effect.
very well because the Shepard will not be present.
The
in this
Shepard
game.
trilogy
Commander
is
Shepard
concluded,
done.
but I'm happy that they're expanding on this universe, because Mass Effect, I feel like, is the richest sci-fi universe that I know of next to Star Wars, you know? So I'm excited to explore that more and have a more original character.
We just need
Yeah.
Patton Oswalt to work that into the filibuster.
Oh, for sure. We were just watching his Tangent, the animated one, like 2 seconds ago in the back.
Oh, yeah, we
of, like,
mentioned
the
it
whole-
last week,
yeah.
right.
Goat Milk Weirdness says, I hate when you're playing stealth games and a bad guy walks right next to you, but doesn't see you when you come in reality. Come on, bro, really?
Well, when it's yeah, well,
It's like when he
you're
walks right
basically
by, and it's
touching
like
them.
clearly that guy could see you, and it's just like, come on, dude, like seriously, how do you
Yeah.
not see that? Those are my favorite parts of the game because those are the only times I win. It's moments
Yeah,
where it's just
I
like that
feel
should have
like-
happened, and it did.
I feel like stealth games would be way too frustrating if we made it too realistic, you know?
Well, that's with anything. I feel like I mean, they gloss over those parts in movies. That's where montages exist. 'Cause you don't have to deal with those moments. You know?
Speaking of Chaos Theory got pretty close. I mean, there were moments where the AI was just like, completely oblivious, but I liked how it had the dark and light meter and the sound meter. Like Chaos Theory was more, it had more layers on it, I feel like, than the ones that
It was
the Splinter
definitely a
Cell that
much
followed.
more in-depth
Yeah,
game,
it
which
was.
I absolutely appreciated about that. That's why I liked Chaos Theory. I played much more Pandora Tomorrow than Chaos Theory. Both great games, but I'm kind of pissed I never got to play Chaos Theory that much, or as much as I'd like
Still
to.
can.
Yeah, it's a very good point.
Yeah.
I very much can. But we're gonna take a quick break. But when we come back, we have the clip of the week, which I'm super excited for. We're gonna do your clip of the week next week, but this week is my clip. And then we're gonna talk about much more E3, a bunch of games we haven't talked about yet, and a whole lot more when we come back. So stay with us, a couple minutes at most. Save and continue. We'll be right back.
I'm gonna get my goat milk.
Go get your milk, girl.
this is Chris Les Jake, and if Enravio.com spots you at an event wearing this bracelet, they will give you $100.
This is Joe Larson. You should check out the 505 on Racing Show live every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or catch us on video on demand anytime, 24/7, only on the Enravio TV network.
Welcome back to the show. We are live. It is 7:36, and we are talking about games, tech, E3, all that fun stuff. But before we do that, we have the clip of the week, which we do every week. I'm going to have to set this up a little bit. So there is a YouTuber called H2O Delirious. He does a lot of GTA videos. He's very funny. Does he sound familiar?
Yes, it's
Yeah, he's a very popular guy.
Oh God, he's on No, I showed you their videos.
A bunch of the GTA. He does a lot of cool GTA videos, and he's gotten into modding and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's a very funny YouTuber. And this is actually a GIF. I saw it first. It was a GIF on Reddit, and I added some music to it and stuff because it was so funny. So basically, he found a mod that allows you to play as a chicken in the game GTA. You are actually the size of a chicken. You run around, yada yada. You can carjack people. But he made like the whole video is hysterical. I recommend the whole video. We'll have the link in it to direct towards it. But this is one isolated clip from the video, and he basically plays a game of chicken crossing the road. He basically adopts the chicken body mod and basically runs across the street through traffic, but does not look left or right the entire time. And it's basically 30 seconds of just, I don't know why I got so invested into it, but I was just sitting there like, go chicken, you can make it. Because there's a lot of, you don't know what happens at the end.
Does it maintain his height, like the character's height?
Nope, he is a chicken on the ground like that.
It's when you take the peyote.
Nice mod.
But I invite you to watch a chicken mod video where they carjack someone, because it's the most bizarre. The chicken like jumps in the air with its wing and like grabs the guy out of the car, and like it's very bizarre. But basically, this is the chicken mod. We're gonna run this video right now. We're gonna make bets right now though, okay? Because I've seen it, so I can't bet. Does the chicken make it? Yes or no?
No.
Does the chicken make it?
Kind of.
Kind of?
Yeah. It kind of.
That's not a yes or no. Give me a yes or no.
It gets hit a little bit, but.
All right, you know what? For the sake of the argument, because you said no, you're gonna say yes.
Okay.
Bonnie, run that video. We're gonna leave our mics on. Let's do it. Chicken video. Yes or no? Here we go. Go chicken, go. Run. You can do it.
It's nicely animated.
You can do it, chicken.
This is terrifying.
You can do this, chicken.
This is the scariest game of frog I've ever
You
seen.
can do this. It's the most realistic game
this is
of
actually
chicken.
scarier than I thought. Oh my God.
And he makes it.
Oh
Yes!
man. That's why I was wondering. I was like, is it going to be the height of the character and something
no.
goes over and just lays him?
I knew the ending to that. I was still.
No, that was great. That
Yeah,
was
you might
great.
see.
I didn't see that coming at all.
Wow, I wonder like what the chances of that actually happening again would be to like fit
Oh, yeah, that was-
perfectly inside the wheel well
Oh
as
my
it's
God.
coming by.
It's
See,
too
if
good.
I was recording that, if I was the Let's Player to like record that, and that moment happened, I'd be so happy.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
that's
again,
going in.
this was
You
a
just
GIF,
struck gold.
but out of curiosity, I went and found the actual part of the video that's
Yeah.
from, and he's laughing. He
forget
exactly
their
what
crew. Yeah, I forget
he's
who
laughing
this
his
is.
balls off, and he's just like, go chicken! And that last truck comes, and he starts like squealing into his mic. It's
Yeah.
Again, the whole video is funny. Go support H2O Delirious. He's got some great stuff.
Good name too.
You enjoyed every second of that. Thank you, Milk Goat Awareness. I don't even like that. And then you have played the mods before. That's awesome. So apparently he says you can play everything from a chicken to whale. I've never seen the whale mod.
Well, you're forgetting that in the PC version, didn't they add that you do drugs so you become the animal?
That's true,
Like
I
Narc?
guess. But you don't play a whale in any of those missions. At least I don't think you do.
Maybe not a whale. I don't know.
It's an interesting drug.
Let's see if he can. Goat Milk
Yeah.
says, let's see if he can do that again with the whale. I don't think that's going to work as well. But I would love to see that
I just
video
want to see a
still.
whale walk.
Pretty much. That's
does.
the most. That's the most ridiculous video I've seen. Next to the one I think we showed a couple episodes ago, where you played the monkey skin, and the monkey was just going around gunning people down. But they modded the gun so the gun shoots cars.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
there's this guy in a monkey model running around shooting cars from his gun. It was just like. Then he starts flying.
Yeah, you looked
And it was a
exactly like Caesar.
He looked exactly like Caesar. Oh god, that was so funny. But that was the clip of the week. And I loved it. I loved every second of it. Again, I knew the ending to that, and I was still sitting there sweating just because it's so intense. But let's let's get back to the E3 predictions and
before
wish
we
list.
get off Mass Effect.
Sure, go back to it.
Briefly, what would you look forward to in a new Mass Effect game? What are you expecting? What
That's
do you
a
want them to
great
show?
question.
Because they showed very little. Very little that they showed.
That's a great question. I mean, I guess the obvious things are to expand upon everything they've done so far, so I guess obviously the decision making is a huge factor in it. So I'd like to see they did it they did it very well from Mass Effect 2 to Mass Effect 3, where it went from Mass Effect you chose your team to Mass Effect 3 you basically chose your army. So I'm very excited to see if they're going to take that to the next level. I don't even know what the next level would be from that, like universes or
believe it or
planets,
not,
or you know what I'd like to see more planet exploring, but like real time, kind of like no, what's that game that's coming out soon? That's
I know what you're talking about.
it's the Xbox
yeah,
One.
you showed me.
The one you go
right.
straight from the atmosphere
Yes,
into
yes.
God, what was the name of that?
You can discover the new planets and
Yes, I talk about
we're
it
gonna
all
be
the
here
time.
forever
I
thinking
know,
about it. Yeah.
but I basically want seamless transitions from space to planets. I like to control the N7 ship or whatever ship you're going to be piloting in the new one.
The Normandy, yeah.
The Normandy.
Well, I mean, that's Shepard's ship, but you're probably. Oh man, actually, you just made me think of something. We probably are going to get our own ship if it does turn out that way. You can
I love that.
build your own ship.
I would love that.
That'd be
Wow.
incredible.
Sure.
I didn't even
That
think of
would
that.
be cool.
That was the one thing you kind of got to do that in Mass Effect 2 when you were upgrading your ship. But
Not the same.
No,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
no
Talk about, like,
customization.
ground up
But
building.
exactly. Rumor has it though that they're actually be going more towards the RPG elements of the first game. So, because that was the biggest complaint with a lot of fans was that they abandoned a lot of the RPG-centric qualities of the first Mass Effect. To be honest, I really
First Mass Effect.
Well, here's the thing. I really
You
don't
hated
think
the first Dead Space?
Before we get, well, yeah, but
Let's
listen.
get
Before
off
we
on
get,
Mass
get-
Effect.
I don't want to get too far into Mass Effect because I know we have a lot more to talk
Sure,
about.
sure,
but I really think by going action in 2 and 3 was a much better decision. Sure, they could have had more RPG elements, but I feel like the RPG elements in the first Mass Effect game weren't even really that good. I don't like. It was great. The exploration was definitely more of a sense of going to more places, but really most places were barren. The leveling up system, while it wasn't super simple, it had the illusion of being complex. While it really was pretty straightforward.
It was the best elevator simulator I've ever played.
Nice.
So if they went
Very
back
nice.
in and
This
chalk
guy.
loaded it,
This guy. What?
the game.
if they went back in and like chalk loaded it up with like more planet or like you can actually explore planet and it wouldn't be just boring.
I wouldn't mind more character customization when it comes to gameplay and abilities and stuff like that. That they could definitely improve on RPG-wise.
Their classes really were very black and white. Like, this is what you got, this is what you got,
Yeah.
that's what you get. Like,
Okay.
I would
Yeah.
like, I agree. I like the classes to blend a little bit more, maybe. Like, kind of get. I like the line to get a little more muddled, where it's like, what class are you? And it's like, well, I'm a hybrid, a little bit of stuff.
I just have faith that they're going to do the right thing. You know.
I certainly hope so. Like I
Yeah.
said, Mass Effect 2 is, I've said it on the show multiple times, you
Right.
said it when I wasn't even here, is my favorite game. And it's just, I hope this series, because Mass Effect 3 lived up to the hype, I thought. I very much enjoyed the game. The ending, obviously, was a little convoluted, and even when they explained it, I was like, I don't think that's
I liked
clever.
I liked the DLC director's cut ending. I liked it. I mean, it wasn't the best thing in the world, but it was an improvement. You know, I'm just happy they did it. But
Eh.
anyway, let's get to the next game here. 'Cause
Sure,
there's so
sure.
much.
So, I mean, you guys really don't care about this. I'm very excited because I actually got to play it with James a bit. Was the next Tomb Raider game they're
Haven't played
recommending? God.
I heard good things.
Because I played the original, not the original one, but PlayStation when you played like Lara Croft, like pointy polygon Lara
Yeah.
Croft, like.
She has like 100 polygons on her. Total.
Yeah, it's just it's basically a wireframe.
You just stab yourself on her chest.
Pretty much. There's a great side-by-side picture online where it shows the new Tomb Raider
Yeah,
with the
yeah,
old one,
yeah,
and it is
yeah.
just a great representation of how far games have come. But
Seriously.
I love the reimagining because I was a big fan of the original Tomb Raider. I love that platformer. It's a classic to me, and I'm really excited to see that it's kind of getting more life breathed into it. Because the first one, the remake was great. I'm playing it now and I'm really enjoying it. And the sequel is looking to be very good, so I'm hoping for more
Isn't
from
it
that.
Square Enix that is
That,
involved?
I believe it is
I'm pretty
Square
sure that
Enix.
in the old
If
one.
I'm not
yeah.
mistaken,
yeah,
you are
they did
correct
the other
about
one.
that.
Found that very interesting.
A couple other things. Star Fox for Wii U, which is gonna be cool. That's gonna be a cool one.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for that.
Been waiting
I
on
can't
that.
believe that's taken that long.
I know it should have happened for
But
the
there's a
Wii.
lot of Wii U games like that, you know.
Oh,
Where's
dude,
my
Pokemon
med-
Snap, guys.
Pokemon
Snap.
I am telling you, Pokemon Snap will be involved as a mini part of the full release Pokemon game.
Dude.
It has to be.
It's
We talk about South Park on the show every episode. We talk about Silicon Valley on the show every episode. We talk about my love for Mass Effect 2 every time in this episode. And we talk about how Pokemon Snap should be on the Wii U every freaking episode.
We got to just round these topics up. There's so much to talk about. It's
That's-
crazy.
no, that's-
It really is. But it's true.
We will riot.
I'm happy
So
they're doing
true.
Star Fox because it's a great character. It's a great series. It deserves more recognition
Just can't
outside.
wait.
Right now, I feel like the whole series is more dominant in Super Smash Brothers than anything at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm sorry, Resident Evil Zero HD is going to be.
I told you that.
Yeah, Goat Milk Awareness brought that up. That's
Nice.
good.
Goat Milk
I didn't
Awareness.
know about that, so
Goat Milk
you
Awareness.
mentioned it to me. Actually,
Yeah.
I'm very
Yeah.
excited for that.
Yeah, Resident Evil Zero comes
Love
out next
Zero.
year. Yeah, I'm excited for that. I want to see if they're going to add any kind of features to it. You know?
Yeah, because it was a very bizarre, like with the whole, you could control the characters with both thumbsticks on one controller. Like it was a very bizarre feature.
Yeah,
I
the
kinda,
C-stick.
Yeah,
I know it sounds. No one's like, what?
Yeah, you could. You had a character that followed you. It was two characters in the main story, and one of them followed you. And you could have the setting where it was basically AI, where they followed you throughout the whole game, or there was an option where you could control the character via, because it was a GameCube controller.
It was seamless.
C-stick or the
yeah.
first stick, and it worked great.
Yeah,
It worked
it was cool.
surprisingly. I saw it, I'm like, this is
Yeah.
stupid, but it actually worked pretty good.
Zero is one of those games. It's not close to my favorite Resident Evil, but I, for whatever reason, get excited when I think about the game.
I
Not
appreciate the
necessarily when
fudge out of that game.
Yeah, I like it. It's interesting to me. You know, so I am excited to play it again because it's a great excuse to play it again. Because Resident Evil Remake, I mean, I played so many freaking times. You know, definitely not as many more times than Zero, but. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm not nearly as big as Resident Evil fan as you, obviously, but I played a couple of the titles, and I definitely enjoyed the series. Like Resident Evil 4 is clearly one of my favorites, but
Yeah.
that was, again, I feel the same way. It's like, it's not that it's my favorite game at all, or even that it's that extraordinary, but I really appreciate that game.
It had some cool.
It's interesting.
It had some
The
cool
train was
locales.
great.
The train, the training
it's just a
facility
great
was
game.
really good. Yeah, the leech monsters I thought were great.
I picked it up
they
on
were
a
legitimately
whim.
scary.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, the
God.
music that played, the strings, and everything like that.
I think that cuts back to what we were saying
Yeah.
before about atmospheres in games and
Oh, yeah,
survival
yeah.
horror. That's why Dead Space 2 is so fantastic. It's those atmospheres where it's like, that game was great because there wasn't even any monsters, and I would still be terrified. Just because the walls are decrepit.
It's like the unknown is scarier than what
See,
actually
yeah,
happened.
like what could happen?
If Capcom
That's
could
exactly
get,
right.
If Capcom can gather anything from these re-releases of the original Resident Evil and then Zero, I have been wanting this for years. If they remade 2 and 3 with the same style as the remake and Resident Evil Zero, it's flawless. It looks gorgeous to this day. They need to do it.
I
They have
still
to
haven't
do it.
played Resident Evil 2, and that'd be a great time for me to start.
Resident
I
Evil 2
love
needs
it.
a facelift.
That's what I mean. Because I've watched videos on it online. I'm like, this could easily
But
be my favorite
they
Resident
should
Evil.
fit it in line with the look of
Sure.
the re-releases that they're putting out right now. You know, it just makes sense. And I think it'll also make it easier for people to the series because it'll be like the art change and the look wouldn't be as jarring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't understand this. Maybe you will. Goat Milk Awareness says yes, and make 3 longer. Resident Evil 3, was that a short game? Which one was that again?
Resident Evil 3 was with Nemesis, Last Escape.
I know nothing about that one.
You know Nemesis.
I know Nemesis.
Stars.
I know Nemesis.
Yeah.
But that's why I completely forgot
well,
about Resident Evil 3.
There was a couple people.
just skipped in my mind.
There was a couple people I saw online that said they wouldn't mind actually Capcom putting Resident Evil 2 and 3 together in one game because they take place in this pretty similar locations. It's Raccoon City, except Jill Valentine and Leon and Claire kind of go in different areas, but sometimes they cross the same places. They don't actually meet, but they cross the same areas. So it would be cool if they integrated Jill's campaign into 2, but the only thing with that is that Resident Evil 2 has different mechanics than 3 does. 3 has the dodging mechanics and the ammo, but who knows? Maybe they could even change that a bit, because Resident Evil Remake, they added things to it. You know, they added the defense weapons. They added the Crimson Heads, so I think they could do it. You know,
Goat Milk agrees. He likes that idea a lot of combining those two games. I think that's a good idea to me because I love Resident Evil 2. Even though I haven't played it, I already love it.
Oh.
And Resident Evil 3, I would love to give it a shot too. I got to play Outbreak 2 a long time ago, and
listen.
Every Resident Evil person I brought Outbreak up to does that
eyes
same
almost
Listen
fell out
to
of
me.
your
face.
head.
Listen to me. Listen to me.
We got
This is gonna become a Resident Evil episode again.
same face, every one of them.
Resident Evil Outbreak, I am dying for them to release on PSN, on PS4, updated with online capabilities.
That's
it.
the online.
That's it. They have no freaking idea how many fans they would just get back if they did that. If they got Resident Evil, just Next topic.
Goat Milk says he's not a fan of the Outbreak. But they had 2 Outbreaks, right? There was Outbreak 1 and 2 or something?
There was, File 1 and File 2.
File 1 and File 2.
Outbreak as a single-player game, I thought was kind of crap.
Same eye roll. It's just funny. I think I brought that up to Yama, like when we were doing the Resident Evil thing, where he's like, he did the same. Oh God, Outbreak! Don't even get me started on Outbreak.
Well, see, yeah, Outbreak. the novelty of Outbreak was playing with your friends. That's really what it was
that's
about.
What got me hooked.
You know, so like as a Resident Evil game alone, there's way better, but it's still a lot of fun, and I think they could definitely update it.
That's awesome. We're going to take another quick break.
Okay.
But when we come back, we've got a couple more things to talk about, some more Battlefront info, and we got a bunch of other games from E3 that have been announced, including one that I freaking called weeks ago, and everyone thought it was nuts. We'll talk about that when we come back in a couple minutes. Thank you for joining us. We'll be right back. Hit that follow button, because we're going to be here all night. What?
What's up, guys? We're Scared No Fair, and we're here with Enravio. If they catch you at a show with one of these bracelets, you will win $100.
That's a lot of money.
So get a bracelet.
Do whatever it takes to get that. Hit them up online.
This is Joe Larson. You should check out the 505 Racing Show live every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or catch us on video on demand anytime, 24/7, only on the Enravio TV network.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? We're back. It is 7:53. We're still doing a bunch of shows
What
and
if we
stuff.
did the rest of the show in Spanish?
In Spanish? You do the rest of the show in Japanese?
It would
Ego
be,
ga wakarimasu?
it'd be very limited.
Ohayou gozaimasu.
I know like 2
Justino-san.
words. Dude, I forget what
Mitsubishi.
French
Been
was
teaching
last
myself.
week.
A little bit of Japanese
I
here.
forgot what bonjour meant last week.
He did. It's true, he did. I was like, so what's bonjour mean? Anyway, we're talking about video games and tech and not Spanish, French, or Japanese.
Buongiorno.
We're going over all the cool stuff that E3, that we might see at E3 or that has been announced to be shown at E3. This I said before, I called this a long time ago and everyone kind of went, yeah. Rock Band 4 has been announced. And they said, keep your peripherals from the other games because they will be usable again. I'm really excited about that because I can't think of, I mean, obviously Halo was a great experience in my childhood and stuff, but Rock Band was arguably some of the funnest times I've ever had playing video games with people.
It was super fresh.
It was super fresh. People got committed to like to their instruments, and it became like a job at that point. Where it's just like, yo, after school, we're going back to our friend's house. You're hopping on drums, and you're gonna nail that one line that keeps screwing us up when we're playing yada yada song. And it got people really serious. And whenever people get serious in video games, that's when I get most interested. And I think that's what I liked about it. It almost it brought the drama of like a real band almost, because people were just like, yo, you didn't show up after school, man. What's gonna happen right now? You're not gonna hit those guitar riffs. And
about
it's
the
like,
band, man.
Tony was here doing bass licks all last night, and
We're never gonna make it.
we're never gonna make the dream, bro. I think Goat Milk says bonjour is an old wooden ship. That is eerily similar to a joke he makes on a regular basis. What was it? It was like every time.
What, the Anchorman joke?
No, the 1812 thing, where it's like every time he mentions something that you don't understand, you're like, what is that? A ship built in 1812?
Yeah, it's Anchorman.
Is that Anchorman?
It's Anchorman.
Oh wow.
I believe it's an old wooden ship. Oh, it's in the bootlegging era.
Oh, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
That's great. I don't remember that. Another game announced. Again, this is. Okay, every time I mention this, how unexcited I am, how much I don't care. People kind of give me an
Tom
face.
Clancy's The Division.
The Division.
The Division with Tom Clancy and friends.
I don't care about it.
I like Tom Clancy.
I don't care anymore.
I don't care anymore.
You still care about it?
I don't. I mean, I haven't really stayed up too much on Division, but I do like Tom Clancy games.
Tom Clancy games are great. I could not care less about The Division at this point. And last time I said that, I think I was talking to James, and he was like, oh, what do you mean? It looks great. It's post-apocalyptic. And I'm like, we've been hearing about this game for how many years? It's set in New York. We haven't seen anything about it new lately. It's just everything
You know the
about
vibe
it
I get
bores
from
me.
this game? Just everything surrounding it is Destiny. I was so looking forward to Destiny, and it let me down big time, and I get the same vibe from this game. You know, it's got a similar idea. You're in an open world, and you know, you're with friends, and it's kind of you and your friends versus the environment or other players. Like, it doesn't seem like it's. I mean, listen, by all means, if it lives up to what it says it's going to be, I would totally play it. But it seems like it's just another Destiny game. You know, that's going to let me down.
Yeah, but there's also a point to where just a working title would be like eons ahead of like the games that are currently coming out. That's why people are. I mean, Witcher's a great game, but at the same time, it's low in bugs.
What, The Witcher?
Yeah.
Witcher is that Witcher 3 that just came out. It should be the standard for AAA titles coming out in modern day gaming because they gave you a full finished game and then they tacked on DLC that actually felt like extra content, not content they made and stripped from the original games that you had to pay for 60%.
And those guys and girls that worked on The Witcher, that company really deserves it.
And if I'm not mistaken, they self-published
hard.
it as well. Or they worked with a publishing company that was not as much more independent.
And
so
they had a lot of
much more
DLC
of a
for it
say.
too.
Yeah. But I think the reason it came out so popular is because they had much more control as to what was released. I think they were able to say, no, we're going to give them 100% of the game and then start developing DLC. Whereas EA would say, oh, you have 100% of the game? Let's sell 60% of it for full price and then charge people for 40%.
Yeah.
And that's
EA, that's more like a 40.
Yeah, well,
60.
we won't get into the specific numbers. It's a dick move. That's what it comes down to. But I mean, The Division, it's just. I'm uninterested. Again, maybe you know what it is. It came out the same time, or it got announced relatively the same time as Watch Dogs, and
Watch Dogs,
and that game just bombed. And I get maybe it's just the fact that they came out in such similar times. I just get a bad taste from any game announced at that period because Watch Dogs was just a letdown. And
well, that might be why they peeled back though.
What do you mean?
Like Watch Dogs failed horribly, and then they're like, okay, no, let's pull it back until we have a complete game.
I don't know if it failed horribly, but like just these games, I don't know, they're just not appealing to me anymore.
I think Watch Dogs was too much of like a one-trick pony. Was the main gripe with it.
I agree with it.
Yeah,
I agree with that statement.
Goatmilk says, unlike NHL, how do you send out half a game? One of our hosts, Ryan, would stand up and clap for you if you aren't already Ryan. Because he's like, I asked him because he does his Tuesday streams. He's like, what are you streaming? He's like, NHL. And I'm like, I thought you hated that game. He's like, I do. I really do. But he just loves hockey games. But he constantly talks about how that game is just totally unfinished and crap. And I don't understand a word he's saying because I never played it before.
Well, gameplay-wise, from what I understand, it's either a very similar game or it's minor improvements. But they took out like everything, like all the bonus game modes are just completely stripped.
Oh, that sucks.
So it's like, it's a sports game, and the way that it stays kind of relevant and current is because you're playing through these different modes. You're not playing exhibition games, you're playing your franchise games, you're playing your superstar where you control like a single person.
Gotcha.
So, you're building to something, and now it's just like, nah.
No. You start from nothing, and you're going to end with nothing.
It's an arcade game now. Enjoy it.
Oh, God. That's all you had to say.
Something I wanted to bring up related to E3,
Sure.
actually it's with Halo 5.
Oh.
And I've been following Halo 5 pretty closely for the last few months, and I'm so satisfied.
I had no idea.
That's surprising.
I know.
I had no clue.
You would have never guessed that I've been following Halo 5 with the amount
The only
that I
reason I
talk
looked
about
at the Halo 5 picture you posted on my Facebook wall is because Nathan Fillion's face was on it.
Well, you enjoyed that, didn't you?
Because Nathan Fillion's face was on it.
But Buck actually looks like Nathan
Love
Fillion
that
now,
guy.
which
He's
is crazy.
the greatest.
Yeah, but anyway, not so much about the game itself. We're getting a lot of different kind of information out now, but something very interesting that 343 and Microsoft are doing regarding the DLC. And they're actually making all DLC maps free when they come out. All of them. Now, first you think, wow, that's awesome, they're free, but there's something else that's great about this. And it's been a problem since Halo 2. And the problem since Halo 2 has been, Halo 2 came out with different map packs that you paid for each time.
Good.
Oh, okay.
We can't show
I
the
get what you're
logos,
doing, yeah.
so I get in trouble. I'm really thirsty.
Are you making fun of me?
No, I'm whispering like a Japanese girl.
Yeah. Anyway, Halo 2 had different map packs, And eventually these map packs became free for all Halo 2 players, but it was timed. So unless you bought them, you didn't have them. And then they became free. And once they became free, then that means that all the maps were access to everybody, and that means that everybody could play them. Therefore, matchmaking wasn't a problem because everybody was able to play the same maps. Then Halo 3 and Halo Reach and all these other Halo games came out, and the map packs never became free. So the issue there was that there was always a certain amount of people that were never able to play with the rest because the maps were always, you had to pay for it or no luck. So the Halo community online was further divided because what they just didn't buy.
Yeah.
So now that Halo 5 is fixing that by making all maps free, then that means you're going to be getting to play the plethora of all the Halo maps and without feeling like, oh, do you know what, I haven't played that map in a while, and because the map wasn't paid for by everybody. You know what I'm saying? And it's a great move, I feel like, because it seems like a very un-Microsoft thing to do.
It is. It very much is
Yes,
an un-Microsoft
but
thing to
it
do.
makes sense because it's going to make the multiplayer experience better, and therefore, their 343 is really living out their commitment to a competitive Halo game because they're really trying to make sure Halo 5's multiplayer is like the Halo multiplayer to end, like the series.
Wow.
Not
Well,
the
you got some
series,
competition
but to be
there.
the best.
Yeah, I mean, because Halo 4 had some great multiplayer too, so I'm excited to see what they do.
It was too random for me, but
I really liked what the direction they headed in though, because it was very different from the other Halos.
Halo 4 had great DLC maps, but it fell into the same issue that I'm talking about. That not everybody could play the maps, and even the people that bought the maps weren't able to play all the maps because
It's funny that you actually mentioned that because I remember back when I used to play like Call of Duty when I was still into shooters, the DLC maps helped to divide out the people that were like casual gamers that kind of sucked.
Yeah.
So then when you go to the DLC maps, it was a little stronger of a match for at least a little while before everyone ended up.
But see,
buying
it screwed over the people that bought the maps as well, because you're going to probably have the majority of people not having the maps.
Yeah.
Therefore, the people that bought the maps that they paid for and wanted to enjoy are going to experience them less because the majority doesn't have the map downloaded on their Xbox. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Also, I don't think it separates the quality of players at all because some of the worst players you'll meet have tons of money.
Well, that's subjective.
That's what I mean. That's what,
I
I don't think that would do a good job of separating player quality at that point.
No,
or
I think you're
more
saying that's just what
dedicated.
you noticed.
Yeah, well,
it's just what you noticed.
I don't think I never noticed that trend.
It was like early on, at least, like the first like month or two
Well,
before
yeah,
everyone
because
else flooded.
yes.
Because
Yeah.
it was only people that
Yes.
really liked playing the game that would jump ahead and pay for the extra maps. This was also still pretty early on in DLC content. Because I mean, I haven't played COD in years.
Yeah, right.
All in all, the lesson here, though, is that I think that the industry is moving in the right direction if they do DLC like this. Because for an online competitive shooter, this is huge. That they're allowing everybody to play their maps for free, so everybody gets to play with each other, and they get to experience the new content just as much as the old content.
Especially nowadays.
And it seems
seriously.
like maybe the gaming industry is heading in a better direction. It seems like now that when companies get backlash, it almost seems like they're responding more appropriately now. Like there was that whole modding fiasco with Steam, and then immediately 2 days later, Steam was like, okay, we're not doing that because you guys are clearly not going to have it.
Yeah.
World of Warcraft, if I'm not mistaken, they cut out flying in the game with like your characters or whatever characters you could ride, and then people freaked out, and now, if I'm not mistaken, it's back installed in the game. It seems like almost the game industry is, whereas in the past they kind of be like, this is what's happening, deal with it. They're kind of going, you're not going to deal with it.
I think they're learning that we have them by the balls.
Exactly.
And we have the ability to crush their balls at any moment's
The
notice.
gaming
if we
industry
wanted
isn't
to.
servicing the gamers.
Yeah.
It's the
a more
they
unified
are
front.
servicing the gamers.
Yeah, but I'm happy about that. And other than that, Halo 5 is looking to just be a good game in general. You play.
I'm really hoping so.
Yeah, it's
Speaking of
looking
like
great.
sticking on the whole Bungie 343 thing, they said there's going to be a big announcement for Destiny out there. What I bring up is just as someone that played Destiny, or to all the people that currently play Destiny, if they came out and announced Destiny 2, I would be furious as a Destiny player.
They did
I would
release an
flip a
expansion again.
table just like because
Yeah.
it's going to be a 10-year franchise, like and all this like deal. Oh,
I would throw
flip
up. I would
table.
throw up from laughter.
If anyone is in the chat that plays Destiny, I would say something about that because I'm not even going to play Destiny, and if they announced that, I would be pissed just because they would even entertain the idea of that. is just nuts to me.
Yeah, I'm just gonna use my brain power towards other things. It's just like it's whatever.
Destiny's no longer worth my attention.
No, no, it's a shame.
Moving on, let's crush through a couple more of these things. Rainbow Six Siege will be making an appearance at E3. Again, they leaked alpha footage of it, of a demo of it, and it's basically just, it looks like a Counter-Strike clone to me.
What the hell is a Rainbow Six Siege?
Rainbow Six Siege is the next Rainbow Six game being released. It's apparently they are coming out with Patriots, the one that's all like decision-based and campaign
Oh,
oriented.
they canceled that.
I heard it wasn't canceled. It's just been like put on the side step or something.
Yeah.
And they're coming out with Siege first, and it's much more of a multiplayer.
Again, Tom Clancy, sorry. Sorry, man.
It's basically a Counter-Strike clone. I'm really upset by that
Is
because
it
I
in
love.
space or is that just a dark?
No, it's just it's.
I thought that was like
Could
a
you imagine
satellite
Rainbow
for a
Six in
second, and I
space?
was
I actually thought it was underwater, and I thought it was a submarine.
No, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Yo, I would take either of those.
Yeah, right. Sound great. I would take either of those. Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. Do you care? I don't care.
I care.
You do? You do?
I'm not gonna play it probably, but I love the Metal Gear series for just the whole.
Never hated it.
Just
Never hated it.
how nutty it is. I love it.
I'd still like to get the HD collection because they came out that a while ago
I
on
actually-
360,
yeah.
which because I want to play the old ones.
I own
more than
all of
anything.
them, and I've only beaten one.
They're long game. Oh, was that which one was that?
Metal Gear Solid 4 was
Oh,
the only
Guns
one
of the Patriots
It's the only
or
one I
whatever?
beat. Yeah, and actually it was funny because we were in my house and it was you might have been there and a few other friends and like they were watching it like it was a movie. It was just very.
That's one of those games. It's like Last of Us. And
Yeah, it's
I remember I was at
gorgeous,
your
too.
house once and there was like dogs in the game. And you just started shooting dogs in the game, and I was like, if you shoot another dog, I'm gonna leave in the game. And you just look at me, and he goes and shoots it, and I stand up. I'm like, I'm out of here. And then I actually left.
remember that now. Yeah, that was
I won't pay into this sick fantasy.
They looked so much like my dad's old dog that he had a kid. It was just hitting me the wrong way. I don't know why. It was like those little white huskies that I'm like, that's the exact dog my dad had.
remember
and I was
that,
like,
yeah.
I
I think
can't
it was a
watch
wolf.
this.
Yeah.
The noises they made, man. You sick son of a. Final Fantasy. I can't even read that Roman numeral. Can you read that?
15,
Final Fantasy
Is that what it is?
115, yes.
Oh, okay. You're gonna laugh at me. The kid that doesn't know what bonjour means is gonna laugh at me for
I
not knowing
forgot
the
what it
Roman
meant.
numeral past 10.
Final Fantasy 137.
Yeah, right. Like, God.
They're always
knows.
good games.
At least
but
you didn't
they
say
come out all the
XV.
time.
I'm happy that you didn't say that.
I was about to. Street Fighter V is being shown there as well. Halo 5 Guardians, we talked about that. Very excited for it. And this one I'm actually excited for. Mirror's Edge, before we go to commercial break, Mirror's
cool.
Edge Catalyst was announced. And they're saying it's not going to be a sequel or anything like that. It's going to be like a reimagining, basically. And they're kind of giving off the hints that it's going to revolve more around the worlds that exist rather than Faith, the main character. That was all based on her story, her life, kind of going through her thing. They're kind of hinting that we're going to see an overall like sense of the world, because in Mirror's Edge you live in this totalitarian city that's basically you've given up your civil liberties for safety.
Weren't they like message runners or something?
They're message runners. There's so much government surveillance in this world that they only rely on like actual paper messages to be transferred. So they hire free runners. That's the premise of the game, that they run through and they
such a
transport
fun
these
game.
messages. Oh, it was a great game.
So visually
Every mission was
styled.
basically an escape like mission, but I was super excited to see them announce this though, because I've been waiting for Mirror's Edge 2. Because if you play the game now, it still stands up, at least graphically. It's gorgeous.
Yeah,
it is
so
an
stylized.
absolutely stunning
It does
game.
well with the use of colors.
Exactly. The whole art style is fantastic.
Yeah.
The way
How
they
they-
use
how they
red
use
to guide
red,
you.
yes, correct.
It's just a gorgeous game. So I'm really excited to see what it looks like on current gen consoles.
Gigantic.
That was a
PS1.
game that got really fast at points, but never seemed overwhelming. And I think a lot of it happened because of the visuals. Because you would just look like, oh, where's red? Like, got hit red. And, oh, got to avoid blue and
It kept you up
orange, like-
so well. Like, You're
Yeah.
just like, oh, I'm lost. Oh, you're just focusing on red. Like, they
Yeah.
kind of got rid of. I agree. If they added more colors to it, it would have kind of been too much.
Yeah, because when it hit the fan, it was like...
Yeah, because you're moving so fast, there's so much happening, and it's just like, punch that guy, shoot that guy,
that
jump
little
off
bit
that
of
building.
motion blur, you're like, oh my god, I'm actually running.
You can only handle like 4 colors at once.
Now is there any games that we're looking forward to that weren't mentioned at all on the list?
We're going to talk about that after we come back from a commercial break, because we need to pay our bills. So stick with us. We'll be finishing up with some more E3 talk and a couple other things, and some Battlefront info that I'm very excited to share with you guys. So stick with us. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
How
Save and
much all these
continue.
lights cost? Like, geez.
The bills.
Hey, I'm Raul Panther.
And I'm Commander B. Hawkins.
And I'm Mark Well. We're some of the proto men. If we see you without this bracelet, you're punching the. But if you have this bracelet from InRavio.com, you can win $100.
Put one of these on, or else.
This is Joe Larson. You should check out the 505 on Racing Show live every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or catch us on video on demand anytime, 24/7, only on the InRavio TV network.
I don't care.
Hello, we are wrapping things up. It's Save and Continue. We're still talking about E3. And then Goat Milk Awareness actually brought up that NHL 16 will have all the game modes ever in every NHL game. And you said this is a result of the backlash of
I mean,
NHL 15?
I would have to assume so, but also I think it was either this past NHL or the one before that. They must have inserted the new Infinity system, and so they might have just been trying to get a working game out, because they make a game every year.
It's
And-
very much Assassin's Creed-y.
Yeah, and the Infinity system really tore apart. I know it was basically like hitting the reset button for Madden. FIFA integrated it slowly, so it worked.
Yeah, well,
But
FIFA's got to be careful.
Yeah,
'cause
you
that's
have to
like
feed the
FIFA.
entire world.
I mean, I don't know. I'm sure NHL the series is popular, but I doubt it has anything on FIFA.
No.
that
Nobody
international
touches
is.
FIFA
Exactly.
in sports.
So I'm sure they were like, we need to baby step this.
If it's not ready, it's not ready.
But it's interesting. I would very much like to know if that was a direct result of the backlash from NHL 15, because that just adds on to our
Yeah.
whole theory that
Well,
the
it's what we
gaming
just-
industry is.
Oh, it's not even a theory. It's pretty obvious.
I hope it's. I mean, if this actually was an actual response to the backlash from NHL 15, is what I'm
I
saying.
wouldn't doubt it.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
It tacks on to our logic that the gaming industry is kind of, they're afraid of gamers again, which is what it should be.
I think the gaming industry
We
is
shouldn't be
also-
afraid what the gaming industry is going to do. The gaming industry should be afraid of what gamers are going to do.
And they should actually be afraid when they start getting death threats.
yeah, because apparently
Those people are crazy.
don't be a woman game developer at this point. Oh my god, man! Like some of the stuff is just.
Yeah, it's pretty messed up.
Oh, it's like, and it's literally just because the girl's a woman, and I'm just like, all right, if she was like an awful human being, I get it, but I'm like, I think it's just because she has girl parts. Like, good God, take it easy, guys.
I think game developers are also afraid of indie developers now too, because it's becoming
Mm-hmm.
cheaper and easier to develop at home.
True, but the indie scene is extremely competitive. There's a great Netflix
very profitable,
documentary
too.
called
Yeah.
Indie Game Movie, and it captures like the struggle. Really, it's very much like starting a band and trying to get signed to a label. Like
Yeah.
it really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but indie's blowing up.
I love indie games. They're some of my favorites now.
Minecraft just sold for $1 billion.
Well,
with a
I
beat.
would not consider.
But at the same time,
Minecraft is no longer an indie game.
Yeah.
To me, all right.
But
No.
it's
So I went to
built
Barnes and
into it.
Nobles and saw journals about Minecraft stories.
The
I was
Bible,
like,
the Minecraft
Bible. Not indie anymore.
But it builds into something like that.
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
We don't have enough time for Game of Thrones.
We should start this out. Game of Thrones.
the episode.
The last episode was Dance of Dragons. It was the second to last episode of Game of Thrones. Spoiler alert ahead of time. And it was amazing. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was a
It
great
was
episode.
shocking.
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 I mean, as soon as they sent, I forget the guy's name, but the one that's the actual right-hand man to Stannis
King's
Baratheon.
Hand. To Baratheon.
No.
Soloris? Is that it? No.
No.
It was,
No.
The King's Hand.
He's not the King's Hand.
He is.
Oh, well, yeah.
He's
well,
the
gonna be.
onion guy.
Yeah,
he's
he's
the
missing
onion
his
guy.
knuckles or whatever.
I'm terrible
But as
with
soon
names.
as he was like, yeah, you have to go, and he's like, why? He's like, it just has to be you. I was like, oh, that girl is not going to
I
be
am
surviving
looking
this
forward to
episode.
his reaction.
Yeah, he's gonna
when he
freak
comes
out.
back.
Oh, he's gonna freak.
He's gonna
He's
freak
gonna
out.
freak. That was basically his kid, like at that point.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know if he'll
taught her to read.
I don't know if he'll necessarily make it back though, because the storm is supposed to be pretty crazy.
I would like to see. Well, he's gone, and then maybe Stannis just gets fudged, like by Renly's forces and everything, and they just destroy him. And he comes back, and he's just like, "What the hell happened? Everyone's gone."
Wait, you mean
And
the
that would-
Boltons?
What?
You mean the Boltons?
The Boltons, yeah.
yeah, Ramsey.
Ramsey, what did I say? Renly?
Yeah, you said.
Yeah.
You said
Oh, I'm
Renly.
thinking of Renly Baratheon, I think.
Yeah.
Who's
Yeah.
But yeah, I would like to see him like come back and like just see this camp that's just like, oh, what the
See,
hell happened?
I
Or
think
get a
in-
message like it's done.
I think that'll happen in flip. I think Ramsey's going to get overzealous and try to impress his not new father, but he's been
Newfound father.
legitimized.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to be like, let's go attack them, because he said that earlier. And
God, I
he was
hope
just
so.
like, Lord Bolton was like, don't do that. That's not what we do.
God, I really hope so. Did you see that the Red Nose special they did where Coldplay was doing the Game of Thrones musical? It was like for charity. They had all the actors like from Game of Thrones come out
Very
and they did like
random.
sketches. So the guy
Kinda
that
cool.
plays Ramsey, was that his name? Ramsey Bolton? Or was
Yeah,
it-
the crazy one?
Yeah, the crazy one. And then who's the name of the guy that he cut off all the body parts? And
Reek
yeah.
Tyrion- or
That
not
actor
Tyrion.
walks in and he's like got food and all of a sudden the music gets intense and his face just turns white and the actor is sitting across on the piano and he's just smiling and he goes, And then all of a sudden this Game of Thrones gets intense and the actor's just like getting terrified.
I
And
gotta
he
see
goes,
that.
"Oh, Frank, it's good to see you. Good to see you too, mate." Oh my God. It was
I really gotta see
amazing. Jon
that.
Snow like sings "Wild Thing," a wildling
Yeah.
the whole time. And the girl that his girlfriend in the show is just standing there eating French fries, and she's just like, "This is great." It was really funny. Like even like
clever.
Coldplay.
I
Coldplay had
check
nothing
it
to do
out.
with it. It was bizarre.
Yeah, that's really strange.
Oh, it was so funny.
That's really
it was
strange.
really really funny.
Yeah, and Nolan, you had something to say about Silicon Valley.
You did. Silicon Valley airs
While we're
Western
still on
Things.
Game of Thrones, because I just want to squeeze it in quick.
Ooh.
No, you can't. Sorry.
No, it's over.
I kind of called at the beginning of the season that she was going to end up riding a dragon by the time the season was over.
I hope so. She's a
And
dragon.
it was the cheesiest thing I've ever seen on Game of Thrones. I've always been so impressed by Game of Thrones visually and their CGI, but when she was on the back of the dragon, it looked so cheap.
Wasn't Andrew saying that? The kid that was one of our friends that was watching with us?
Yeah, yeah.
At the
Andrew
end of the
did.
episode, he was like, "That was the cheesiest thing I'd ever
It's
seen."
true though. It
I-
looked so
I didn't really
fake.
notice it.
Do you know what?
And it probably would have been the easiest effect that they
What
had.
bothered me
too.
with that was that she just flies away, and Tyrion and everyone else is standing there.
They're still there.
There's still like a million guys around here. You're the queen, but like they're all standing there like we could have
"Thank
fit.
you."
It's a whole dragon.
Yeah, I see the thing.
Come on.
The thing about that, I kind of felt the same way, Nolan, but it didn't ruin it for me.
Yeah.
Still cool to find.
I still,
yeah.
like, I think it definitely maybe, I don't,
Hopefully
who
they
knows
clean it up
why it
before the
looks,
next
because it did kind of look cheesy to me, but I liked Tyrion's just react whole thing. I really liked the episode.
It's cool to
That
see
was a
good
Tyrion in the
episode.
scenes with Daenerys. It's
That
just
was
like
kind
it's
of like,
never happened.
well, no, he saw the dragon pass over when they were
Yeah.
on the boat, but that was the first time he's ever seen
That
a
was
dragon
incredible
up
too.
close.
Yeah.
Because like, I think we mentioned before, you could tell his whole belief system was just shattered.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
After we saw that, but it was really really cool to see that, and I'm looking forward to see what the finale has for us too.
I know.
Well, it was cool to see. I love to
ramping
see
up
them
well.
finally meet up because, like, you know, in the beginning of Game of Thrones, if I'm not mistaken, Tyrion was actually against trying to send assassins to Daenerys, who eventually that was the
Daenerys.
reason why. What?
Daenerys.
What is that?
You said Daenerys. Isn't it Daenerys?
I say Daenerys.
Really?
I think it's just because
I don't care.
Daenerys Targaryen chews up in my mouth too much, and Daenerys Targaryen.
Point is, it's easier to say.
We're not good at names like Game
No,
of Thrones.
or
Let's
numbers,
let's
or-
just
yeah.
put that.
Bonjour Targaryen.
But basically, because if I'm not mistaken, in the beginning, the whole reason she's even crossing the Narrow Sea is because there were so many assassins sent after her. That was her original reason. And Tyrion was against that, like, vocally in the beginning of the show. So it's really cool to see them finally
Yeah.
get together and be like, we're gonna help each other out.
And
Well,
Jorah
also-
too. I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Well,
he finally,
he's there for now.
Oh, dude, come on. She
back.
took his hand. Like
Yeah,
they,
but why would
he
he even
also
have that?
He also has to be like, hey, I'm infected with this thing.
Yeah, at some point, it's gonna make a point. They're not gonna go through the whole show and be like,
what
oh,
if he did that to bring everyone down? That'd be nuts.
That
They
be
would do it to
insane.
Daenerys.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
There's no way they'd do
No,
that.
it's not gonna
But Silicon Valley, before we have to wrap up really quick, but Silicon Valley, you have something to say? I didn't get to my Battlefront stuff.
Funny episode. First off, it's always funny episodes.
It's always funny. You had a gripe though, apparently.
But I'm getting real tired of the way that they're putting episodes together. Oh no, we're doing great. Now we're not doing good.
Dude,
Let's
it's
build up
Entourage.
to being good.
It's Entourage.
But at the
Oh no,
same
Vince
time,
can't do the movie.
This
Good news.
season, this season is literally ending the same as the first season.
Yeah.
It's, we're so screwed. What can we do? Oh, a random thing that we had no intention of ever happening
Dude.
is saving us. It's like, okay, I get it. Your first season, you're testing the water. Your second season, you're kind of reloading. You guys better clean it up for the third season.
The show started
Seriously.
off so strong, too.
I know. I love the show, but I'm getting bored.
It was bad. They started so great. But we have to wrap it up. Thanks everyone for joining us. We're going to be back next week, Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Super Ryan Game Time is Tuesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Live streaming all your fun stuff. I will be streaming soon, one of these days. Thank you for joining us. EternalCon. We're going to EternalCon this Saturday.
Me.
Frankie's going to be
Me.
there.
I'll be
If you
there.
are on Long Island, be there. It is the greatest convention on Long Island for video games and stuff. We will talk to you guys next week. Thanks so much for joining us. Hit that follow button.
Bing, bing.
Boom, bang.
Hand movements.
Ah.